Okay, what's up, y'all? God, it's so weird, so weird. Every time it gets weird, I get weird. Anyways, um, so in this video, I'm gonna try to explain how to make $5,000 a month reselling, by breaking down the math. Um, like where the cost of goods are, allocation of all the funds, how you can theoretically make $5,000 a month from reselling clothes or anything else you want to resell. So I have two main goals for reselling. One of them is to create to prepare me to create a clothing brand eventually in the future, like establish a company. So the reselling clothes is going to help me prepare for that. And then also my second goal is to make $5,000 a month reselling, first in sales, then in profit. So in this video, I'm going to break it down mathematically how to make $5,000 a month, theoretically. So the first thing you start off with whenever you try to consider how much you could make a month is, well, for me, the thing that I use is, it's called a resale factor, which is 2.5. What the resale factor for me is for every dollar I spend, I make $2.50 back. So that's why the resale factor is 2.5. So if I spend $100 on inventory at the beginning of the month, then by the end of the month, I should make $250 back. So that's why the resale factor is 2.5. Important number, at least for myself, to remember and to realize whenever I spend money, that's how much I could potentially make back by the end of the month. The way I got the resale factor is by averaging out the cost of goods whenever I would go thrifting and buying inventory. So the average of the amount I spent in 3 months, I averaged it out, and then I averaged out my sales for those 3 months, and that brought me to the number 2.5. I'll put the math laid out somewhere on the screen because I can't really break it down. It gets too technical. So yeah, for every dollar I spend, I get back $2.50 by the end of the month, and that's not including inventory that I still have. That's just what sells by the end of the month. So if I spend 100, I'll make 250 by the end of the month. Still have stuff left over. So if the resale factor is 2.5, that's $2.50 from every dollar I spend investing in business. I'm trying to determine how much it would take me to invest into the business to make $5,000 first in sales. So by doing that, our goal is $5,000 in sales. Divide that by 2.5, that's the resale factor, and that would give me $2,000 a month I would need to spend. So $5,000 in sales divided by 2.5, which is our resale factor, gives me the number $2,000, which is how much I would have to spend on inventory to make $5,000 in sales. So that would be $2,000 going into more product every month, and then I'd be getting $5,000 back, leaving me with a $3,000 profit, which is good, solid for a month. That seems pretty doable by myself. Maybe dealing with all the inventory, it might get a little bit harder down the road, but that seems doable. The only thing that takes me forever is taking pictures of items and measuring them and then eventually listing them. The shopping for them, being in the stores and stuff, that's the easy part. That's simple. When you know what you're looking for, when you've, I guess, experienced being in stores for so long, you start to get used to what you know you're looking for. So yeah, from $2,000 invested in inventory, I could theoretically make $5,000 back. Okay, so that's considering that I want to make $3,000 profit. That's $5,000 in sales, which equals $3,000 in profit, because $2,000 is going to be going into inventory every month. But there's a different equation that I worked out to figure out how much I have to spend on product in order to make $5,000 profit, not just $5,000 sales. So that's subtracting all the cost it takes to get the stuff, so inventory, and then also I'm considering hiring somebody to take pictures and list the items and stuff, because that's what I really don't like to do, and it takes up like at least 50% of the time. So if I could spend more time out shopping for stuff, I don't have to spend all the time doing that if I'm hiring somebody to do that. So it could actually be more efficient, more effective if I hire somebody to do the things I don't want to do, and it could be more cost effective and time effective. Time, the value of time, money, my time, money. Okay, how that translates. So this is just a breakdown of the math that I did. So what I think the goal is gonna be is I just played around with the numbers, but what it would take is $10,000 in sales divided by 2.5 our resale factor, and that would give me the amount of inventory I would need to have $10,000 in sales. So $10,000 in sales divided by 2.5 equals $4,000, which is how much I would need to invest in inventory every month. And so if I'm investing in $4,000 in inventory every month, that would leave me with $10,000 in sales. Okay, so I think at that magnitude with that much inventory, $4,000 in inventory, which is actually a lot from reselling clothes, because you could buy a lot of clothes with just $500. And so if you're investing $4,000 in inventory, it would take me and maybe another person, maybe two other people, to be listing the products constantly. And then plus, if I'm going to be spending $4,000 a month on inventory, I would have to be out shopping for this stuff, because everything's like $2 to $10 out there. So you really have to do a lot of shopping to buy that much clothes. Yeah, so if I spend $4,000 on inventory, I'll get $10,000 in sales by the end of the month. But like I said, I can't handle that much volume by myself, so it would take me hiring somebody. And so I think, I'm not necessarily sure how much, like I've never done this, so I don't know how long it's gonna take them to do things or anything like that. But if I did hire somebody, and I allocated $1,000 towards paying for that one person or paying a couple of people that are working part-time, that would be $4,000 going towards inventory a month and $1,000 going towards payroll. I'm not sure how accurate that's going to be because I've never done that, but $4,000 towards inventory, $1,000 to payroll. That's going to leave me with $5,000 profit in my pocket every month. So yeah, that's basically how to make $5,000 in sales firstly, and then $5,000 in profit every month. If I'm gonna do this for my resale business, and it's gonna require me, if I want to make $5,000 in profit, it's gonna require me to hire somebody or a couple of people, paying them around $1,000 a month combined. Not necessarily, I don't know how much it's gonna cost, but theoretically these are the numbers and this is what it would take. So quick rundown, it's going to be $4,000 towards inventory, $1,000 towards payroll a month, and then that'll create $10,000 in sales. And so every month I'm going to be paying $5,000 towards inventory and payroll, and I'm going to be getting $5,000 profit from the business. So yeah, that's the technical, mathematical side of things. Kind of boring, kind of complicated, but theoretically that's how you can make $5,000 a month reselling.